You are not here by accident. Something within you, quieter than conscious thought and considerably more ancient than any deliberate choice you have ever made, guided you to this precise moment. And by the time you have fully absorbed what is shared here, you will begin to understand exactly why. Perhaps you have been carrying a particular kind of confusion about yourself. Not the ordinary uncertainty that most people experience when navigating the ordinary demands of life. Something more specific than that. A persistent sense that you feel things more intensely than the people around you seem to. That you absorb the emotional atmosphere of every room you enter. That you can sense tension in a conversation before a single word of conflict has been spoken. That you leave certain interactions feeling drained in ways you cannot entirely account for. And perhaps alongside that sensitivity, you have also been noticing something else. A growing unwillingness to keep performing. To keep shrinking. To keep absorbing what was never yours to carry. But what if everything you have been experiencing, the intensity, the sensitivity, the exhaustion of performing a version of yourself that fits comfortably into spaces designed for someone considerably smaller, is not evidence of a problem? What if it is actually the specific signature of a psychological development that Carl Jung spent his entire career studying, with a combination of professional fascination and genuine awe? Most people who feel what you feel are told the same thing: that they are too much, too sensitive, too intense, too demanding, too difficult. Most people eventually accept these verdicts and spend the remainder of their lives managing a power they were never taught to understand. But not you. You are here. You are paying attention. And that already communicates something important about where you actually are. Today, I am going to share with you what Jung discovered about the rarest and most psychologically developed women he encountered in his clinical practice, and specifically about the 3 unmistakable signs that indicate a woman has achieved what he called the integrated state. Not the performance of strength, not the display of independence, genuine psychological wholeness. And why that wholeness, in a world built on performance and unconscious compliance, threatens the entire system simply by existing. Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life, and you will call it fate. Carl Jung. Your greatest and most beautiful journey is the one that leads you back to yourself. Subscribe to Carl Jung Philosophy and hit the like button, and let's walk that path together. Most people believe that a high-vibrational woman is simply someone who meditates consistently and maintains careful wellness routines. But Jung discovered something considerably more demanding and considerably more transformative than any external practice can produce. He called it the integrated anima, the individuated woman. And what he found across decades of clinical observation genuinely unsettled him. Because in a society constructed on superficiality, performance, and the systematic suppression of authentic feminine power, a woman who has genuinely mastered her own psychology does not merely stand out from the crowd. She threatens the entire unconscious system simply by refusing to participate in it. We exist in a world of performance. Every day, most people wake up and put on what Jung called the persona. the social mask constructed to make the individual acceptable to the collective. We perform our assigned roles: the agreeable colleague, the accommodating partner, the endlessly patient mother, the pleasant neighbor. We smile when we are genuinely angry. We agree when we genuinely disagree. We contract when every authentic impulse in us wants to expand. This is not conscious deception in most cases. It is survival, the deeply conditioned adaptation of someone who learned early that authentic expression carries social consequences. But the high-vibrational woman has ceased performing, not as an act of rebellion or a deliberate statement. She stopped because she discovered, through whatever combination of suffering, reflection, and genuine interior work her particular journey required, what Jung spent decades helping his patients understand. The performance was not protecting her. It was consuming her. It was draining the life force that belonged to her authentic self into a performance that served everyone around her and left her perpetually depleted. Jung called the state she achieved the Mana personality. Mana is an ancient Polynesian concept meaning spiritual power or fundamental life force. A Mana personality is someone who has reclaimed their energy from external validation, who has pulled back the enormous quantity of psychic resource that most people continuously expend on managing others. Perceptions, seeking approval, monitoring their own expression to remain within acceptable boundaries, and questioning their own perceptions because someone else appears more confident. All of that is life force, genuine psychological energy draining continuously into other people's systems. The high-vibrational woman has reclaimed it. She has become, in the precise and demanding sense that Jung intended, sovereign. But here is where the real difficulty lies. To become sovereign, Jung found consistently across his clinical work, you must first face what he called the shadow. The shadow is not simply your flaws or your failures. It is every dimension of yourself that you were taught is unacceptable. Your anger, your ambition, your capacity for selfishness, your sexual desires, your rage at genuine injustice, your fierce refusal to be diminished. Society transmitted the same message to most women across generations. Nice women do not get angry. Good women do not prioritize themselves above others. Feminine women do not compete or assert. So these qualities were locked away in the unconscious. But Jung discovered something that changed everything about how he understood human psychology. What you refuse to acknowledge does not dissolve into irrelevance. It accumulates